Tony Evers has done. Oh, I don't even know if this is the most reprehensible thing that he's done as the governor of Wisconsin. Hopefully that'll be coming to a close very, very soon. He's up for election. Not like he's gonna die or anything. He just looks old as shit. So we can just go ahead and put that aside for a second. But you know what? Everything that he did during a certain election during a certain year, about a couple of years back, maybe that's the most reprehensible thing that he did. But before we get to the end of this article, we'll figure it out in some form or another. But here's what we have. Wisconsin Democrat Governor Tony Evers' Department of Public Instruction told white people to wear wristbands as a reminder of your privilege. White people to wear wristbands. Okay. You're in Wisconsin, by the way. How much slavery took place in Wisconsin? Especially in a place where there's more farm animals that are there than there's people. So are we concerned about that? Or I don't know where this motherfucker's going with this stuff. This is wild. White people are told to engage in a racial shaming exercise to remind them of their privilege by Wisconsin Democrat Governor Tony Evers' Department of Public Instruction when he was its superintendent. Oh shit, so this goes back a minute. Oh lord, so he's been a racist for a minute. A document promoted by the Department of Public Instruction, obtained exclusively by Breitbart News, suggests that white people wear a white wristband as a reminder of your privilege. Yeah, they had to settle on white wristband because, like a yellow star was maybe a little bit too obvious. Oy. Democrat Governor Tony Evers, who is up for re-election, was the superintendent of the Department of Public Instruction from 2009 to 2010. So this dude's just been in public office for decades at this point. Like, just fucking retire, you loser. During his time as superintendent. So wait, this shit goes back to at least 2009. When did he institute this stuff? Because that'd be 2013, huh? Yep, Barack Obama. He was definitely going to be that hope and change candidate. I swear, all of this stuff, it goes back to the most divisive president that there's ever been in office. Fuck you, fight me. And Democrat Governor Tony Evers, up for re-election. During his time as superintendent, the department worked alongside volunteers in service to America, VISTA. Okay, Evers spoke highly to VISTA, remarking that Wisconsin was very fortunate to have assistance from VISTA volunteers, and their work was very important. It's super important. We need to have a conversation about race. Fuck off. Document titled Addressing Racial Privilege, a Mental Model for White Anti-Racists. It's funny, right? Well, we need to have a discussion about racism, but the only thing that they came to the conclusion of, white people should wear bracelets so they're easily identifiable. I thought normally, immutable characteristics do a pretty good job of defining who's white and who isn't. Just saying. Evers spoke, highly. Oh, okay, cool. Evers spoke highly of VISTA, remarking that Wisconsin was very fortunate to have assistance from VISTA, and their work is very important. The document, titled Addressing Racial Privilege, a Mental Model for White Anti-Racist, is distributed at a joint DPI, so the Department of Public Interest, is that what the fuck it was? Oh, Instruction, sorry. Okay, cool. So this was supposed to be disseminated through state level, corporations, state level, committees and shit like that. So whatever, you get, again, another reason why government should probably be trimmed by, like, a lot of people, let's just say. Training in 2013, where Evers was superintendent. The document urged people to engage in a number of anti-white racial shaming exercises, including wearing wristbands as a reminder of your privilege and as a personal commitment to explain why you wear a wristband. Oh my God. We got a flowchart, people. We got a flowchart. The big question. How do I live with my privilege? I don't... Again, you're assuming a lot of things, okay? And again, the norm in Wisconsin is... Why are you even doing this? Like, this shit makes no fucking sense at all whatsoever. Like, okay, how do I live with my privilege? So, you have action steps and internal dialogue. So this goes counterclockwise. Okay, cool, because this is also, like, counterintelligence. Not like it's a psyop, it's just against, just regular and intellectual thought. How am I benefiting from privilege? Oh my God. Could you imagine filling your head with this fucking gobbledygook on a consistent basis? How fucking worthless. How do I make myself comfortable with privilege? Well, if you're privileged, you shouldn't even be thinking about it because you're already comfortable about it. So, oh, whatever. That's again just assuming a lot. It's like when Bernie Sanders, white people don't know what it's like to be poor. I beg to differ. Have you seen my bank balance? How do I ignore privilege? What am I doing today to undo my privilege? How do I fool myself into thinking I am powerless? Oh, it's easy by never thinking about this, the asinine document. How does society reinforce my taking myself off the hook? Do I really need to do this in Bernie Sanders' voice? No, probably not. You guys can't talk back to me. I understand. Okay. What people do, I need to talk to so I can stay on the hook. Oh, God, this is just evolving quickly. What education about others do I need to, about privilege and its absence? Oh, my God. Like, if you're unironically answering these or asking yourself these questions, okay, or you feel the need to engage in this type of dialogue, you're not really talking to good faith actors on the other side, okay? If people are like, oh, please check your white privilege. I only talk to good white people who have the good white people white bracelet, which realistically the only people who would actually be caring about this stuff is white liberal women, because that's always the people pushing this type of stuff. That and their enablers like Tony definitely doesn't have AIDS. Evers. The document also told white people to find a person of color who is willing to hold you accountable for addressing privilege. So what, you need a black sponsor? So you need a token minority in order to tell you how bad you are? Yeah, I curate my reality pretty appropriately and pretty specifically, so I wouldn't be inviting these type of people into my life. But that's just me, by the way. And to make a daily list of the ways privilege played out and steps taken or not taken to addressing privilege. Oh my God, it's like diarying about how bad it is to be white. Set aside sections of the day to critically examine how privilege is working. You know what? If you took the racial component out of this stuff, this wouldn't necessarily be bad advice if you're just critiquing your life and only in order to take better steps towards more accountability and responsibility in your life. But this is all just racist gobbledygook. Be willing to tell each other to hold them accountable. Something you're supposed to demand attendees. Okay, that's where we deviate on this type of stuff. Okay, because again, if this was just an inward inflection, inward, not n-word, inward inflection on this type of stuff, that would be totally fine. Because again, just assessing how you're maneuvering throughout the day, that's important stuff, and that's what highly successful people do. They constantly reflect on their own actions and how to be more efficient at achieving their goals. It's just bogging yourself down with all this nonsense. It's fucking worthless. The document asks a number of questions, including what am I doing today to undo my privilege? How do I define my moral obligation? Your moral obligation. So now you're attributing morality to skin color. That's some shit that some really bad people in like Central Europe or Western Europe were doing in like the 40s, okay? Just saying, okay? Or some intellectuals were doing on the campus of Harvard. Just saying. All of these questions, demand, and action items were centered around the big question. Oh my God. Yeah, another organizer of men was asking a big question about a certain demographic of people. Yeah, this isn't weird at all. Which read, how do I live with my privilege? As superintendent of public instruction, Evers had control over the curriculum of the Wisconsin public schools. After initial outcry about racially charged document, the Wisconsin DPI scrubbed the document from their website, but it's right there for everybody to see in living color. But not white color. No. There'll be none of that stuff. Don't want to upset anybody. Section of the website titled Power and Privilege. That's just also assuming a lot on top of that stuff, okay? Yeah, power and privilege. White people have all the power. There's just creating an inferiority complex that shouldn't exist for anybody. Like, if you work hard and you try hard and you get a couple of breaks, you can succeed in a lot of things. I'm just saying. The website does, however, say that after a training session with Vista volunteers, a packet of additional resources was offered by the trainers as the volunteers left. Subsequently, the entire resource packet was posted to the Vista website. Users who click on the link to the document currently on the website are directed to a page that says misconceptions and misinformation. Oh, okay. So yeah, all of this shit was gestating years and years ago. Great, wonderful. About the document are being spread by out-of-state entity that has no connection with the public schools in Wisconsin. Oh, okay, cool. You're not denying the existence or the validity of the document. You're just saying, no, bad faith actors from outside, they're just acting. That's not very nice. Users who click on the link of the document currently on the website are directed to a page that says misconceptions about misinformation about the. Oh, right, we already read that. Sorry about that. PolitiFact. Oh, great, the fact checkers are out here. Guys, don't worry about it. We know it's all right to be racist against white people, but that's not what they were talking about right here. Okay, has stated DPI was responsible for the flyer given to 13 federally paid workers that suggested white people consider wearing the white wristbands. Oh, okay. Well, it's only 13 people, but if those were instructors for a wider group of people, we still have a conversation on our hands. Breitbart News contacted the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction, asking the department if it was willing to denounce exercises or activities that intend to get white students, volunteers, or personnel to atone or apologize for racial privilege. Communications Director Abigail Sweats, work hard and sweats hard, told Breitbart News, I assume it was removed because it does not reflect best practices in equity trainings. Oh, great. Yeah, we've got worse shit in this. Don't worry about it. We just don't ask white people to assess their privilege anymore. We just assume the worst. And strongly supports equity in education, which includes trainings about combating racism. Because again, only white people are capable of racism in their warped fucking reality. Before becoming the communications director of DPI, Sweats was engaged in leftist activism. You don't say! I'm shocked. I am shook to my core. I cannot believe this happened. And called herself a proud queer public school teacher. Why does that fucking matter? Oh my god. I won't give up the ghost as to what grade it was, but I had a very proud and open teacher who was very out front about fucking around on his wife with one of the other teachers that was at the school. Why didn't he go out saying, I'm a proud cheating public school teacher? Because again, you can only preface yourself with certain sexual proclivities. Weird. Sweats also spoke at the Women's March in Madison and received Teacher of the Year award. You're a fucking administrator, stupid. From GSAFE, a leftist organization that organizes teachers and students to engage in progressive activism. I swear to God, public schools are just fucking garbage. The guide was produced by New Jersey-based Beyond Diversity Resource Center. Oh, is that the out-of-state organization that we're talking about here? Interesting. An organization that offers anti-oppression. By oppressing white people, that's anti-oppression. Okay. And diversity climate. Oh my god. Now we're getting climate change? No, I joke, I jest, but it's probably not too far off. The organization even sells a fight hate wristband. Is it white? That would be so appropriate. The wristband description reads, learning about privilege, the way society gives people advantages because of their memberships in groups. Yep, it's like putting transgender people right at the top of the progressive stack right now. We'll see where it goes. I'm sure there's going to be some racial component thrown in there at one point or another, but if you're a trans person, you can get away with fucking anything in society. It's just as important as learning about oppression. Aw, that's adorable. Earlier this year, Evers vetoed a bill that would have prohibited critical race theory from being taught in Wisconsin schools. Evers' campaign did not respond to a request for comment. Evers is running against Tim Michels, the Trump-endorsed Republican candidate for governor. Let's take a look at the polls before we close this motherfucker out, because I pray to God that Tony Evers, because, again, the Wisconsin people, they're just kind of, just a nice milquetoast type of people. Okay, are they necessarily Republican? Not really. Are they necessarily Democrat? Not really. Outside of the main, population hubs like Milwaukee, Green Bay to a lesser extent. It's mostly a red state because it's mostly a rural, not very heavily populated state. They just kind of flip back and forth, It's kind of a centrist state. And that's kind of why they're cucks and allowed this shit to come under their front door. Oofa. It's actually pretty close if we're taking a look at this. Wow, when Michels really got a boost. I wonder when he got that endorsement because, fuck, that's October 1st. Then he first passes there. Yeah, that's RCP poll average. So, okay. Yeah, and then everybody's just going up at about the same times. Yeah, plus 0.5 for Michels. But if we take a look at the actual ballots. Oh, okay. What do we got right here? Yeah, tie. Evers, yeah, no, Fox News, Data for Progress. PPP. Okay. That one I'd actually trust for Democrats. Interesting. Yeah, man. It looks like it's going to be about a toss-up, really. So that'll be an interesting race to see. I don't know much or actually anything about Tim Michels, but I know enough about Tony Evers to know that that motherfucker is worthless. And now we know he's kind of racist as well. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.